Hey everyone. Can one of you guys do me a favor? If you can hear me, post in the chat window, send a private message to me that you can hear me, or you can post a question and just tell me that you can hear me. Sweet. Awesome. Cool. So we'll get started. I know people are still joining right now, but we'll get started. And what I'm going to try to do today is that we're going to start out with some housekeeping items, talk a little bit about our quality initiatives for this quarter, and I'll do a demo of my dashboard. And I'd like to leave some time at the end, hopefully at least 20 or so minutes to answer any questions that you might have. But if we didn't get a chance to get to your question, feel free to send myself or Lori Maria questions after the webinar. So just for some housekeeping items, if you have a question, you can either use the hand raise feature, and then when we get to the Q&A part, I can unmute you, and if you have a microphone, you can just ask your questions through there, or you can post your questions in the questions window, and we'll get to those as well. Another thing is that I posted 2 polls on here. Just some quick questions that if you can, please fill them out. It'll help us identify things that we can improve with my dashboard. And then the last thing is that this webinar is recorded, so I'll package it together and then share it with the rest of the community who couldn't make it today. So with that, we'll get started. Before we do, again, I just want to introduce the Expert Ops team. Many of you have corresponded with either myself or moderators or Eric, but you can see here we have Carrie and Eric, Lord Maria, your expert mods, myself, we have Manaz, our recruiting coordinator, Michael, our business analyst, and Ollie, who's our product manager. Today with me, I have Ollie and Michael, and I think Lori and Maria on here as well. So before we get to My Dashboard, I just want to do a quick run through of our quality initiatives. I know some of you attended our much smaller town hall last week, and we talked a little bit about this, but because we have a bigger group this time around, I just want to review it quickly again. And the point of this is to show, in terms of quality, what are some of the things that we're looking at this quarter, and then how that ties into My Dashboard. So for Expert Ops, our vision for the community is basically to have a community of high quality, responsive, and trusted experts. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and it makes sense. But what does that look like for customers? Basically, for customers, the vision, we hope that it at least gives customers a 4.6 star rating experience or better. When you think about when you use Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, Amazon, when you use those services, you would like to be able to get at least a 4 or 4.5 experience out of it, or if not a perfect 5. You want to have that seamless, great experience from those services. So that's the same thing that we want to provide to our customers. We want to give them access to highly credible and trustworthy experts, and timely response speed aligned to their expectations. And then what does that look like for you guys, for our experts? It's basically the vision is to build a strong and supportive community of only the highest quality experts, where you can share your knowledge and help each other, but also you have the resources and tool to help customers solve their entire problem. And of course, when customers have that great experience, they're happy, and in turn, they'll rate you better and you earn more. So for this quarter, we're going to maintain the amazing progress that we made in speed. You guys helped us reach milestones in terms of response speed under 30 minutes. We want to be able to maintain that, but also find a balance with quality as well. So we want to improve trust and quality with customers, and what that basically looks like is achieve an average 5-star rating of 4.6 or better. Again, just I like to think of it more as like a 4.6 or a 5-star experience. So with that, I'll jump into the My Dashboard demo. My Dashboard is the first step of helping experts get to better rating and more earnings. So if you have not had the opportunity to look at your My Dashboard, you can find it by going to your request center, which is some of you guys refer to question list. Just go here, and all you need to do is just hover your mouse over your username, and then that My Dashboard link is right here. You just click on that, or I think there's a link to it in the Expert Help Center as well that you can just click and go to if you're on there. But when you click on My Dashboard link, a new tab will open up, and then this is what you see. So this is a test expert account that we have. So what I'm going to do is basically just go over each tab, explain exactly how we calculate the data, and then also look at other features of My Dashboard, including the hints. So starting with the first tab, estimated earnings. This is basically the single number at the top is your 4-week total. So if you, let's say, if you look at this graph right now, we have July 20th, which is today. So this number shows how much you've earned the past 4 weeks combined, starting with today. And how the graph is broken down is that each of the dot, if you hover your mouse over it, you see a 4-week sum of for that week. So for example, July 20th, like I said, this is basically your 4-week total from 4 weeks ago till today. The July 13th dot shows your 4-week total earning starting from July 13th, counting back 4 weeks, and so on. If for some reason, if let's say you were away for a couple of weeks or you're a new expert, you might not have any data. And in that case, when you hover your mouse over it, you'll just see the not enough data. So this is basically a 4-week breakdown, a week-to-week breakdown, but your 4-week total for each of the week. Just to note that this is estimated earnings. That means this is the data that is available for us to show you at the time that you visit the dashboard. It does not account, for example, if there are changes, if there are refunds or chargebacks or any real-time changes in that sense from the customer side. It may not update on your dashboard right away. So it's estimated, and At any time, if you do need to see an itemized version of your earnings, you can always go to reports. And all of you are familiar with that page. I do want to note in terms of updating, the data does update in real time. So for example, if I go back to my request center and let's say I replied to a question, and I click send. So I send an initial reply to a question. So when I go over here to my dashboard and I refresh it, you see the response, the average response time changed a little bit, and also the question volume, it went up one question. So you can see the data in real time based on your activity on the request center. So every time you need to see, so basically you're able to go back to my dashboard at any time to see your progress in terms of any of these 4 metrics. The next tab over is question volume. Again, this is questions that you've responded to. You can see under each tab, you'll be able to find a 1-sentence description of how to read the graph and how it's calculated. But again, anytime if you have questions, feel free to send me an email. Again, question volume is exactly the same as estimated earnings. Each dot shows your past 4-week total. So again, here it'll show you, this shows my past 4-week total starting from July 20th. The July 13th shows my past 4-week total starting from July 13th and so on. And again, if you were not active for any certain number of weeks, then we'll show not enough data for you. So the next 2 tabs, the calculations are a little bit different than earnings and volume. Average rating, it's also calculated using your previous 4 weeks, but it's the average of all of your rated questions the past 4 weeks. So, if in this case I responded to 14 questions the last 4 weeks, so this is my average rating for those 14 questions the past 4 weeks, versus if I look at July 13th, I responded to 2 questions, and then my average rating was that for those 2 questions. So it's not, instead of total, it's average for your 4-week period. The last tab is average response time. I know we got some questions about response time, and mainly, how is it calculated? Why is it maybe higher than your perceived actual speed? And basically, right now, at this time, we can only show you the average response speed. Ideally, we would want to show you your median speed, which is a more accurate read of your response time. So with average response time, it's in minutes. So in this case, my average response time for the past 4 weeks is 161 minutes. And that can be skewed if for example, most of my questions I respond to in under 30 minutes, but maybe I have, a handful of questions that I picked up that's been posted a few hours ago, so it might skew my average. So I, at this time, use the average response time as sort of just a reference and something to track your progress. So if the previous 4 weeks you average over 200, but this week you average 161, use it as a guide that you're progressing in the right direction. But we're not too focused on the average response time right now, and we're not taking any actions on you with that at all. So that's those are the four main metrics. Calculations, the graph, pretty simple in terms of kind of giving you a clean look at how you break down on a week-to-week basis. Like I mentioned, definitely use this as a guide in terms of to track your progress and see in reference to your historic performance, how you're doing more recently. The next part of my dashboard is the helpful hints and advice. So every week we update this section, and basically you get 4 different hints and advice every week. You can click on these circles to switch between the hints. And basically what we plan to fill this with is obviously hints on how you can improve your earnings, your volume, rating, response time, etc. So content that we send out through the Expert Help Center or through emails, but we'll also include helpful hints and advice from experts in the community as well. And in the future, announcements of any new tests or incentive programs that we might have going on that will impact your rating or your speed. So keep an eye on this because you might find some good stuff in here that you may have missed if you didn't get the email or didn't see it in the Expert Help Center. The last thing on here, and one of the most important things is the bottom part. This is the version that you're seeing today with my dashboard is the first version of us trying to make your data more transparent to you and allow you to track how you're doing on the site. It's the first version, and we internally have ideas in how to improve it. We love to add additional metrics like premium services, customer reviews, categories, time range, so how you slice your data instead of looking at it from a week to week, you can look at it from month to month or day to day. If you're a car expert, maybe you can look at data solely for, let's say, Toyota questions versus Nissan questions. So we plan to basically give you more options to slice the data however you see would help you improve your on-site performance. But if there's anything that you think would help you do a better job and metrics that you think you will find useful, send us your feedback. You can just click on the link down here, and you'll be taken to Expert Help Center, and you can send in your suggestion to us. And with that, that's pretty much the demo. Well, we have about a little bit over 30 minutes left, which is awesome. We can start taking some of your questions. If we didn't get to all of your questions today, we'll make a note of it, and our team will reach out to you afterwards to answer directly. So let me pull out the question window. And then, as I mentioned, if you have a working microphone and you want to ask your question through that, just use the hand raise feature, and I'll unmute you so you can ask your question. So the first question, Chris, greetings from New Zealand. Awesome, welcome. A bunch of people can hear us, great. First question from Kenya, will those attending the webinar today also get a copy of the webinar? Yes, I'll make the presentation available for you to download after this. Most of the content from this webinar is the demo part. So what I'm planning to do over the next week or so is also make short tutorial videos on my dashboard, and I'll upload them on the Expert Help Center, so you can go and kind of see a demo on there as well. From Nathan, can we get some metrics on when customers actually read our answers for the number of unrated answers? That's a great question. I know that's not something that's on our radar right now in terms of showing number of unrated questions, but that's why I wanted to have Ollie here, our product manager. We'll make a note of that, and then as we're looking at different things to add to my dashboard, we'll include this as one of the suggestions. So we'll definitely keep that in mind, Nathan. Next, from Richard. Response time, are we not then penalized for answering all the questions when we get up morning? And what about customers that request you in the middle of the night? So this is Richard's questions about the average response time. Yeah, we're not planning to penalize you for answering older questions at all. We know that there are some questions that stay on the question list for a while, so we definitely don't penalize that, and we do want you to take those questions because a response from an expert is great, even if it has to be a little bit later. So that's why I mentioned earlier, use the average response time right now as an indicator for your progress versus how fast you actually are, because I know most experts, especially most experts on this call right now, your actual speed is, first response speed is definitely under 30 minutes. So please continue doing that, and if you're answering questions that are a little bit later on, when that situation comes up, then that's fine. But we're not planning to punish any expert for doing so. So Richard's other question is, how does rating calculation work in connection with not being penalized for negative ratings? So negative ratings does factor into your average rating, because if we only count positive ratings, then most experts will be basically at 5. But right now, when we look at quality and looking at your 5-star rating average, we're looking at the entire picture, not just that single number. So if your average is 4.8, and some of the reasons why you had a 4.8 is because you had a few 1 and 2 ratings. We'll look at the context of those ratings and kind of evaluate whether is it more of because you have to deliver bad news and the customers just didn't take it, or whatever other reason. So when we look at your overall rating, we do look at negative ratings and positive rating, but we'll look at the context of how you rate it as well. And if there's anything that we can help you improve or avoid those negative ratings. Chris is asking, can we see the dashboard when we use Safari on iPad? So right now, the dashboard is not responsive to mobile or tablets, but if you try to access dashboard on your phone or your tablet, you just see a desktop version of it. So it'll still render for you, but you just kind of have to scroll through the screen in order to kind of see it. But it should still work. And yeah, that's a great suggestion and something that we can look at to make it more responsive to mobile and tablets. Richard is asking, is response time based on our original response or after the questions and all the follow-ups have been completed? So for response speed, we are always looking at the initial response. So your initial response is either a greeting, an acknowledgement of the question, or information request. So how we calculate response time is from when the customer posts the question to when an expert sends a first response. And then Eugene is asking, will it ever show how we're doing versus other experts, like my achievements? Yes, that's actually one of the things that we really wanted to have in the first version, is that some sort of ranking mechanism so you can see a leaderboard to see how well you're doing compared to experts in your category or all site. When we were building this first version out, that part became a little bit more resource intensive. So we had to basically put it in a backlog, but it's something I know that we really want to have in the future. So yeah, great suggestion, and it's definitely something we want to do. And Lauren's asking, is there any incentive for answering bad news questions in legal? Customers tend to give lower ratings for those or bad ratings. If we answer a lot of those, it could skew the average rating. Yeah, that's something that we've talked about within our team, is that, how do we deal with handling bad news? And I know last week I reached out to a few of you to kind of help us form a task force around that to figure out the best way. I'll open that invitation to anyone else in this call as well. If you have any ideas, or if you have been pretty successful at delivering bad news answers to customers and you'd like to help, let me know. But basically, in terms of incentive program or something to help combat that, then that's in discussion. But that's something that we're definitely looking at, and it's not just in legal. We've seen it everywhere, in every category, in terms of having to deliver bad news. So. So feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in helping with that. But Lauren, that's definitely something that we want to look at. So Rona is saying, I get a list of stale questions. The average response time doesn't exactly answer it. Rona, if you're a solely stale question expert, and that's the best sort of workflow for your schedule, feel free to continue doing so. But obviously we try to encourage faster response speed, but we know in everyone's schedule is a little bit different. So if you happen to have to do a lot of stale, then that's fine. And that will your average response speed will be affected. But again, right now we're only asking you to use your average response time as a reference and a guide in terms of your personal progress. We're not looking at that. We're not really doing anything with that at this time. And then we have Eddie. He would like to find out more about secure remote assistant, what the advantages are, and since it's off subject, would it be best right now, or should I get in touch with Laura Maria? Yeah, Eddie, if you have questions about secure remote assistance, feel free to send a message to Laura Maria, and you can post all your questions there, and they'll be able to help you with whatever you need. So those are the questions that at least I have in my queue right now. If you have any other questions, feel free to post or raise your virtual hand, and I'll unmute you. Chris, did you have a question you want to ask? Or did we answer your question already? Okay. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Okay. Lauren wants to know, are you ultimately looking to remove experts below 4.6? How much below 4.6 would warrant removal? We get that question a lot, and I just wanted to kind of emphasize that 4.6 is not sort of something, a red line that we set, and anyone under that is at risk for removal. That this is a community goal that we wanted to work with you guys to reach. And if you were in the town hall last week, I like to kind of compare this goal similar to other sharing economy companies. Uber has a 4.6 as well for drivers. Airbnb has a 4.5 for hosts. And the reason why companies like us and those companies have those benchmarks is because they have feedback, both qualitative and quantitative feedback from customers that basically help us to identify what is what defines a great experience, a happy experience for their customers. So for us, we as a community and as a team, we want to work with you to kind of get above 4.6, because we know that obviously we want to get closer to 5, but anyone that rates a 4 or 5 often tell their friends and family about it, take a membership so they come back and they ask more questions. So there's a lot, they stay in the site longer. So that's great for a company, but it's also great for extras because there's more question volume. Eugene is asking, will there be a way to drop timed out question out of the PQA? I have to remove them when I refresh or slow responding, or to be honest, I'm not exactly sure what a timeout questions is that, but I'll make a note of it, and I'll have Lori Maria reach out to you after this to answer that question. And Nathan says, bye everyone, he's leaving. Well, the webinar, not the site. Richard, I believe Uber has a rolling, yeah, Uber has, I think a couple months ago, or maybe even a year ago, they started doing either weekly or monthly email reports where basically if within a certain period of time, if you are under their 4.6 benchmark, they're not going to kick you off the system, but they'll give you suggestions on how to improve. And one of the polls that I posted, again, if you guys haven't done so, please respond to the 2 polls I post. But one of them is basically if you're interested in getting sort of like a summary of your dashboard metrics through email. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and that's definitely something that we will try to incorporate. Lauren wants to know, will you be bringing back negative rating review to remove negative rating? That's definitely something on the table. That's not something that we've discussed yet, but I'll definitely make a note of that, Lauren, and see. But again, going back to what I said and how we measure quality, it's definitely we're not just looking at a pure single number. We look at distribution of your rating. So how many 4 stars did you get versus 5, or how many 2s and 1s, and then look at the context and reviewing each one. We've been actually doing a lot of that recently, where we look through hundreds of questions from some of our experts to get a better understanding of how we can help experts improve their rating. So we plan to continue doing that throughout the quarter to really understand the context of why some experts have different distribution of ratings than others. Eugene, thanks for clarifying the timeout. Again, I think Lori Maria will be better at helping you than I would be. So I'll make sure that they follow up with you after this. And then Lauren asks if we can find out our distributions. That's definitely a possibility. I'll have to talk with Ali and also our engineers in terms of if we can get that data. I think we definitely look at the distribution on our side, and one of the things that we're planning to do this quarter to help experts improve quality is to basically work with you one-on-one and share more insights in terms of your questions and your distribution. So once you get an email from us about those one-on-one sessions, rating distribution is definitely something that we will share with you individually. But in terms of adding it to the dashboard, we'll add that to our list of discussions for future improvements. Cool. So I think that's the questions that we have. Eugene is asking, I'm not sure how the customers see how to rate the question, but it's something I ask often when closing a question. And maybe a way to improve their know-how of how to do it. Yeah, so Ali, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but basically.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we definitely realize that part of improving average rating and quality is to kind of understand what the customer expectation is in terms of what they want to see in quality, and then communicating that to you guys, the experts, and obviously part of that is making sure that they understand how the rating system works, and to expose that more on the Q&A page. So we definitely want to improve that, and we're looking at ways to test that and provide you with the information that customers are giving us, so that you know what they're expecting. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that quality in terms of rating is just as much on the customer side as on expert side. So great thing is that we're looking at ways to kind of improve both sides.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is, that really we want to take that burden off of you guys, so that, you can focus on giving the quality answer and not have to or feel like you need to take it upon yourselves to ask, how or tell customers how to rate and you shouldn't have to be the ones telling the customers how the site works. We should be doing that for you so that you can focus on the answer.
Yep. Cool. So we have a couple of minutes left. If you have a question, feel free to send it through the question window. If not, don't feel like this is the only opportunity to talk to us about my dashboard or just general quality. You have our contact information, so feel free to reach out to us after this, and then also we'll be reaching out to you as well in terms of when we have programs for quality similar to ones that we had for speed, or when we do our one-on-one workshops as well. So definitely, we did a lot to collaborate with the expert community last several quarters for speed, and we're looking forward to doing a lot more collaboration this quarter and ongoing for quality, because that's definitely something that's no easy solution to improve quality. So we'll look forward to working with you and also getting your feedback and how we can improve overall quality from for community, but also individual as well. Cool. Eugene, swags, love it. We're always a fan of giving us swag. So if you have any ideas for T-shirts or coffee mugs, clever taglines or anything, let us know. Cool. So we'll wrap it up now. Like I said, definitely feel free to reach out to us after this. Many of you have my direct email, so you can send me an email or send Lori Maria a message through the Expert Help Center, and we'll definitely get back to you. And we'll keep you updated. We got some great suggestions in terms of how to improve my dashboard. I think the biggest thing is just giving you more flexibility in terms of like how you slice and view your data. So we'll keep you updated on improvements, but the data is updated in real time. So every time you visit, you'll be able to see your progress. So check back there often. And this is recorded. So what I'm going to do after this is I'll try to package it up and I'll send it out to the whole community. So if you miss anything, or if you want to share with other experts that you can do so. With that, thanks everyone for coming, and looking forward to a great quarter in quality.